G'day everyone, Gooba here with a season preview reaction video, I guess, for Vorax season of Torchlight Infinite. There's a lot to cover in this video. It is a very lengthy season preview. It goes for about 50 minutes or so. But there is a lot to cover. So we've got a new hero trait, we've got 2 reworked characters, we've got a new crafting system, new skills, new everything basically. So I'll probably skip through it a bit. I'll make timestamps so Andre can chuck that on the main video as well. And yeah, let's see what it's all about.
Welcome back everyone to the Torchlight Infinite Vorax season preview. I'm Andre, your community manager. This is shaping up to be one of the most extensive previews we've ever done. We're rolling out a new seasonal mechanic, a new hero, a brand new crafting system, 2 reworked hero traits, many overhaul damage systems, reworked legendaries, major updates to defensive options, a major UI overhaul, and tons more.
Oh, you poor little thing. So very sick, aren't you?
So it looks like as we go through maps, you'll just have monsters that are affected by the red blood, which is the Vorax. And up the top right here, you have a counter to, which is basically the entry currency for the season mechanic. You get that. You get a bunch, and if there's 48, there's probably, say, 12 per instance, so you can stack up to 4 entries into the season mechanic based on that amount there. I don't know if you can increase that throughout or not, but I guess we'll wait and see. So this is the mini game. We can see on the left here there's 13 rounds, so I'm guessing that it's just going to give us 3 cards to choose from. 13 times. The purpose of this is, you can see on here we have 36 ultimate, 120 180, and the other one's a blank. The idea is to build up as much ultimate activity as possible between the 3 races. So we've got beasts on the left here, we've got one here, and I think the other one is pests. They all give different types of loot. So what you want to do is build up the ultimate activity with the specific race that benefits your build gear, I guess, as much as possible, or we'll probably figure out which one gives the most FE and you'll just do that one instead. And yeah, so plus 120 activity to 1 random groups. They're all random groups of rare boss monsters each round. When you have 2 groups of agitos, at least 2 groups of bone sentries, and when having rare or boss agitos. So there you go. It's going to be a lot to learn each of the cards and what they do. Hopefully, if we have a quick look at that, I guess the brain is going to equal agitos. The bonies are going to obviously be bone sentries, and hopefully the pests have their own unique art as well. There seems to be a lot of cards, and all the cards have a fair bit of text on them, so learning this mechanic seems like it's going to be a lot of work. Might have to come up with I love Google spreadsheets, so I'll probably be coming up with a list of I'll try and come up with a list of, you know, the best cards per section, per group, I guess. I guess we'll see if something like that is possible this season. Just like everything else, there seems to be ultimate cards as well, which are the elixirs. No doubt the season pet will give us a better chance of getting these, which will unfortunately probably buff the loot well beyond anything a free-to-play player can get. replicate the groups of random pests with both the original and the copy, plus 10 quant. 2 additional special potions will be granted in the next round. Yeah, so a lot of quantity on these. The others are just activity and stuff, so they have to have something, I guess. Then after you've done the 13 rounds,
enter an arena and face off against.
You just come in here and kill the waves, and then you've got the 6 loot chests on the sides there for what you can get. Looks like there's the reward counter on the left. But yeah, looks interesting enough, and it looked quick. There's a big invader in the maps, which looks pretty cool.
He's a rare invader. He's fast, tanky, and he hits hard.
I mean, he looks pretty friggin' slow because he's not moving. Maybe it's just the video, but yeah. It's just like the dream invaders, I guess. He said to listen out for a sound, but I didn't hear it, so don't know what the sound is. Maybe it's just an audio thing with the video. I've got another slot in addition to compasses and probes, which are the scalpels. They look like they increase the amount of vials and stuff that drop from the Vorax monsters. We've got 4% drop quant to the antidote vials in Shelley's operating theatre. Yeah, okay, 4% additional vials for the blue, 10% for the purple, and 22% additional for the legendary version. It's funny how it says season compass instead of just season scalpel or something. New content.
Alright, let's talk about the new crafting system. We call it Grafting. It's the most flexible crafting system we've ever added. It lets you combine stats that usually can't exist on the same item. During the Vorax Mechanic, you'll find Vorax limbs. These are your crafting bases.
So it looks like, based on this, it's a new crafting base. You can have one Vorax item equipped. So ones like this that are 12% projectile speed are just going to stay on the ground because they're going to be absolutely worthless.
They come with unique implicit stats that are totally different from normal gear drops.
And then ones with the tier 1s and the tier 0s, they're going to be worth thousands. So stuff like this, very good. Stuff like 12% projectile speed or whatever, absolute garbage. So, you know, I guess you can chuck it in your loot filter to avoid picking up any of the other ones because you can only have one of these equipped. So you want the best affixes as possible on these.
Once you have a base,
there you go. +2 spell skill. Pretty much beats anything else.
you use items like organs to add affixes.
Oh, that was a belt, so it had the blending affix too.
Now here's the first big change. Vorax gear ignores attribute pools. For example, you can roll energy shield on dexterity.
This looks really good. However, if you noticed something there, it's just rolling. Let's go back to the other one real quick.
Now here's the first big change. Vorax gear ignores.
See that? He's adding basic affixes or advanced affixes, but there's no selection. There's no confirm. There's nothing like that. So you're just rolling over these slots constantly. So that's going to be... Hopefully these drop a lot. If these are expensive to put on, then this is going to be insane to try and craft. Because there's no selection of, like normal crafting at the moment. You hit craft, you go, do I want this? No, I craft again. Do I want this? No, I craft again. And that's per slot. This one is just all 3 slots, It's just randomized rolling over. There's no confirm, there's no revert. It's just you click it and it overwrites one of the affixes.
Attribute pools. For example, you can roll Energy Shield on Dexterity gear. On top of that, certain Vorax gear slots share the same affix pool when adding ultimate affixes, giving you far more freedom to mix and match stats that usually don't go together. Wanna be unkillable?
So it looked like that's randomized. Special organs was specific ones, and core organs are the legendary affixes. And now for the examples of the legendary stuff.
Grafted armor, evasion, and energy shield all onto a single chest armor. Pair that with dual kismet,
Don't know when that would actually be useful, but
headless and chest defense scaling, and you're not wearing armor anymore. You're a walking fortress. But the real star of this season, legendary grafting. You can now take a piece of legendary gear, break it down, and extract its unique power. We call this a core organ. Then you can graft that legendary power onto your Vorax rare gear. There are basically two rules. 1. You can have up to 2 legendary mods on a single piece of gear. 2. There are no slot restrictions.
3. It randomly goes over one of these. So if you had tier 0, tier 0, tier 0, and you were grafting on an armor thing and you needed that basic of armor, oh, you got a 1 in 3% chance, a 1 in 3 chance of just going over the top of it. And then I guess if that was key to your build, then you would have to try and roll that tier 0 back on it, which is again that's a basic, so it's not specific. So it would be a 1 in 3 chance to not roll over. It's going to be, this crafting system seems to be, it's going to be put on 3 stats that you need, and if it rolls over one, too bad. Just accept what you've got. It's going to be very pricey and frustrating.
Now let me give you some examples of how this changes build making. Let's take a life consume build. Crimson King is essential for damage, but everyone wants that massive max life bonus usually found on Martyr staff. Now normally you have to choose between damage and survivability.
So you can rip out the max life from the martyr staff, and then you've got the gloves here. If there's a chance of rolling that over that, that's going to be horrible for, like, I guess there's only a 1 in 3 chance that it happens. If it did happen, it would be horrible. I didn't see a Vorax limb that was a weapon, but in here he's saying that you can rip it out of these and put it into your weapon, but it's gloves, so bit of a typo, I guess. So this is the whirlwind example. I don't know why it's on Yuga, not Rehan. But you take the mobility skills, gain 1 charge every 3 times you channel, chuck that onto your whirlwind build, and you just zip around non-stop. Whirlwind Yuga 2.
Dash constantly while you spin. Need hotbar space,
So weird.
trigger Bull's Rage from Frozen Flame, or Frost Shield from Burning Ice on belts or boots. Easily auto-casting buffs with no ring tags. And attack builds get really crazy because they are no longer locked onto 1 pair of legendary gloves. When I play a build that runs Death's Touch, Ghost Slaughter, and Stray Birds Return, well, now you can. Well, now you can.
Death's Touch, 165% additional base damage to handers. Ghost Slaughter Fever. pretty insane. I don't know why they skipped over that so quickly, to be honest. That would have been cool to be easy to touch on. And then if you have huge testicles, you can corrode it. Double corrosion. Huge gamber, 15% chance to actually get what you need. All prefix levels are increased by 1 to 2 levels. That's cool. 5% chance of that. All suffixes are upgraded by 2. Randomly add 2 suffixes, affixes. Randomly add 2 affixes to increase the rank. Huh? That's worded really weirdly. So is that adding 2 more affixes?
This is a big gamble. If you hit the right outcome, you can upgrade your affixes. Legendary mods can hit tier 0, and normal grafted mods can even...
So did he just get... No? So the 15% chance... Okay, so that was worded poorly. Where is it?
Corrosion.
So this is randomly reroll or randomly upgrade 1 to 2 affixes. These are all suffixes are upgraded by 1 to 2 levels. So I think these two would probably be the best because that's all prefixes, all suffixes, 5% chance of both of those, or 2 randoms. So this is 2, that's 3, that's 3. So I guess all up you've got a 25% chance to upgrade affixes. You've got a 25% chance to upgrade 1 affix. Okay, so there's a 50% chance to increase your item. So that's not really gambling. That unless you're gonna sell it, I would do this probably every time. 50% chance to upgrade at least 1 affix by 1 to 2 tiers, or 3 or 2. So 2 affixes, 3, 1, 3, or a 50% chance to just bind the gear. None of these are bound, so that is an exceptionally good option. Yes, I'm playing Roblox in the background. If you haven't checked out the Erika 3 teaser, that's in here as well at 8 minutes. I dare say everyone's watched that already, so I'll skip past it. So this is Erika 3 Vendetta's Sting. Basically, in a nutshell, it is Flicker Strike Erika, where it replaces your 3rd skill slot with Vendetta's Sting, and that triggers, so it's basically an activation medium in itself, that triggers your main skill, so you will flicker to a enemy within 25 meters and activate your main skill. So you just go everywhere and kill everything very quickly.
Mobility in-game. But here's the cool part. You don't just use mobility to move, you use it to kill. As you unlock her traits, her movement skills will automatically trigger your main attack skills. That means you don't need to...
That looks pretty fun, to be honest. So leap slam around until you get in range of an enemy, press your ability, and it just flickers around killing everything. Pretty cool. And one thing about the other Erika Flicker Strike builds is I was watching them and it made me sick. Physically sick after 5 seconds or so. There is this new quality of life upgrade here. So on the left, it is darting around and your screen is going constantly. whereas on the right there is the slow motion, so your character darts around and the camera doesn't dart around as well. That is an option in the battle settings. Next up we have a new mechanic, Tangle, which is brands. So if you've played Path of Exile, now Torchlight has brands. That's pretty much what you need to know about this. It works kind of like Pestilence in Diablo 3, as well as brands in Path of Exile. So you drop your brands on the ground, triggers when that enemy dies. If there's another enemy in range, the brand or Tangle will go to the next enemy. You've got a set number of Tangles that you can have within a set area around your character. So that is the maximum. If you move on, obviously the Tangles that are still in duration previously, they're not going to hinder your character. You can just drop more and more. There's an activation medium for this as well. There's an activation medium for everything. And so you can just dart around and automatically apply all of your Tangles and have them just annihilate everything. And yeah, so Chain Lightning, Ice Shot, Chromatic Shot, just automatically cast skills with Tangle, I guess. It's pretty cool. So things that you want to put on there is entanglement, or entanglement. I don't know if they make up their mind. Damage amplification.
First, Tangle quantity. This
It says Tangle quantity, but this just says projectile quantity. So maybe projectile quantity also is entanglement quantity.
To infect more enemies at once. Second, Tangle stack limit.
You can apply additional entanglements to your enemy. So instead of 1 per enemy, it's 2 per enemy.
This lets you stack more Tangles on a single target, crucial for single target boss damage. Keep an eye out for new legendaries, such as Old Grudge.
Max Tangle quantity, Tangle duration, and crit strike rating. Pretty nice.
This necklace boosts Tangle quantity and duration as a solid starter option. Later, Malign Embrace greatly increases critical strike damage for faster clears. For melee,
it's kind of, I don't know, might just be a beta thing. This one says +1 max Tangle quantity. And then this one says +2 entanglement max quantity. I wish I could click on that. Maybe one is the total amount of Tangles and the other one is per target. For each active entanglement. I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see. There's a bunch of new combo skills that they introduced last season, which is cool. And I think there's a bunch of new legendaries and stuff to enhance your combo skills as well, which is pretty cool. Of course, we get a bunch new legendaries as well.
this is one for the block-based tanks. Its main gimmick is that it reverses your block chance and block ratio. It forces you to balance your stats carefully. When attack and spell block chance are the same, it will provide a high block ratio. If they are unequal, the higher value gets the lucky property.
I don't understand how block ratio can have a lucky quantity. Block chance, yes. Block ratio? That doesn't make any sense. Block ratio is a set amount. Block chance is a chance. And how would your ratio be higher than your chance ever? I'm not sure.
And gives you the better result. On top of that, it scales your damage and reduces incoming damage over time based on how high your block stats are. If you want to build a beefy blocker, then this is your chest armor. Next, we have another chest piece called Futile Trade-Off. This is designed for the min-maxers who want to stack a single main stat to the moon. It gives you a huge bonus to one main stat, but low.
So this one's pretty interesting. So it's plus 200 dex or 230 dex minus 200 of the other stats when the total sum of all stats is 240 or less, minus 20% additional elemental damage taken. So I guess you could have what's that? It's minus 200 strength and int, so you could have 437 dex as long as you had negative 100 strength and int for the additional elemental damage taken. So there's an Iron and Bloom. It has the same sort of artwork as the insanely expensive boots. Hopefully it's not from Original Sin as well. Multi-strike on minions doesn't really help with Boom Moto, but for Iris and Moto 1, definitely pretty nice. Some balance.
Next, let's talk about balance. This season isn't just about new content. It's a massive overhaul of the underlying systems. We have revamped 2 hero mechanics, 3 damage systems, tweaked some legendaries, and updated a ton of defensive options. The headline feature this season is a full rework of the ailment system. Previously, ailment builds were restrictive and unclear.
Previously, Selena wasn't strong enough, so they made her stronger.
Ailment damage now has a variable range, just like your hit damage. This means stats like chance to inflict ailment are much more important now. You need to balance 3 things: chance, duration, and hit count. Change number 2. Ailment stacks have been standardized to improve clarity and game performance. Wilt is now capped at 50 stacks.
Which is good because Wilt used to stack to like 1,000 and lag the absolute shit out of your game. Trauma's max of 1, so it's either trauma or not.
Trauma is fixed at 1 stack. Ignite now starts at 1 stack and can scale up to 4 through progression and items. To help you hit these caps, we've buffed specific legendaries. Take the helmet's Sun's Embrace. It gives +1 to your Ignite limit and adds extra stacks. This is now best in slot for breaking that fire damage ceiling.
Hopefully the corrosion is like +2.
Then look at the glove's Chaos Abyss. When enemies are affected by less than 50 wilt stacks, it doubles your duration. This makes it way easier for slow.
You said 50, but the max is 30, right?
Or skills to maintain maximum stacks. Change number 3. Gear affixes. We've simplified how you get damage on gear.
I'm guessing Wither is Wilt.
You will now see explicit affixes like adds base trauma damage. This decouples ailments from skill multipliers, making the math way cleaner. We also moved these mods to lower tiers on weapons, so it's much cheaper to craft your starter weapon.
How cool does the new Flame Elementium look?
Change number 4. The endgame shift. Here is the biggest change to build crafting. Conversion. New legendary affixes will allow you to convert a percentage of your added flat damage into base ailment damage. For example, look at the Evil Heart armor. It converts your raw flat damage into ailment damage.
So explosion damage is just flat true damage now. It doesn't scale with your character. So there is a rework on Frostbite. Now you basically just apply Frostbite to enemies. Each point is additional cold damage to your enemy. After up to 100, the base rate is 10. You can increase that up to 100 with gear and stuff. At 100, it starts to stagger the enemy in a frozen state. And as a bonus, there has been a rework to Frost Gemma. She can actually go over 100 now, up to, I believe, 250 stacks. And each additional after 100 just gives her more additional damage. So Frost Gemma should be pretty popular this season because of this rework. Another character that got a rework this season is Yuga 2. His main ability triggers twice as fast. It used to be a 4-second cooldown. Now it is a 2-second cooldown. So that is a 2 times damage buff there, basically. It has more AoE range. And it also records reaping damage and stuff like that. It used to only record damage over time. Now it is reaping damage and reaping purification damage. So pretty good buff for Yuga 2. I've always liked Yuga 2. I believe this season now with probably Entangle. Tangle Yuga 2 with, I don't know, Swamp or something like that. Should be pretty nuts to get around with. Should be pretty fun. Been a bunch of buffs to basic skills like Ring of Blades, the Magnificent and the Noble skills. This looks pretty sick, increasing the amount of blades and stuff that come out and the area that it covers. There's a lot more convert erosion and physical damage to fire damage or cold lightning damage. So that should be pretty cool. This one is interesting. It talks about getting these in blended affixes instead of on your slates.
Double roll Divinity Slates. Now you can get these talents on your belt through the blending system. This frees up your Divinity Slates for offensive stats and lowers the budget required to get your...
Lowers the budget required. What's the bet that these take multiple of the level 9 Sandlord blending material that go for like 2,500 FE each? Lowers the budget. I don't think it's lowering anything.
That covers the changes to builds and existing systems. Now let's talk about where you're actually gonna use them. The Supreme Showdown is getting a brand new boss. Floor 20 introduces a brand new Supreme boss, the All-Seeing Prophet. Lore-wise, he has gathered eyes from across the realms to see everything at once, trapping himself in a paradox. Mechanically, the fight is all about eye management. The white eyes are your power source. Collect them to gain strength. The dark eyes are death zones. Avoid them at all costs. This encounter is going to be testing positioning,
avoid them at all costs, block,
awareness, and reaction speed. Floor 21 brings a familiar nightmare back to the top of the Supreme Showdown. Night Slayer, the Wilting Plume, returns from the land of the dead, fully buffed and upgraded.
How's he hitting for 6 trillion?
Ready to stat check the strongest builds in the game. The Supreme Showdown mechanics have also rotated, with energy bombs making their return. Holding the bomb provides a major damage boost, but remember to throw them at the boss before they detonate.
Remember to... That's a great face, isn't it?
Next up, the Overrealm is going core. Along with it, we are introducing new tools to make the Overrealm smoother, faster, and more profitable. First, new exclusive compasses to customize your realm. If you want to reduce time spent in the Overrealm and are confident in the strength of your build, you might want to try the Control Overrealm
2% chance to spawn additional monster carrying a bottle. Cool. Reverse clocks and no longer appear. Interesting.
Compass. It spawns more monsters carrying Bottle Shadow, but removes the reverse clock. The Containment Overrealm Compass addresses the frustration of getting stuck on a floor. This compass gives you a chance to drop a compulsory containment key, which can be used to force open the door to the next level.
Can be used? Does that mean it's a currency item that you can store up?
We've also added a dedicated NetherRealm talent tree for Overrealm. You can now customize exactly what you want to farm. You can toggle talents to show special objects, such as a floating skull, anti-mimetic cage, and gatekeeper on your minimap. You can spec into talents that give rare monsters and bosses a chance to revive. Double the kills, double the loot. Now, if you are particularly fond of the Overrealm exclusive treasures, such as Solid River and Inverse Image, there's an even more extreme talent available. You can give up the chance to acquire Bottle Shadow in the Overrealm, in exchange for an increased probability of encountering the Doorkeeper on every floor. Combined with the talent that grants the Doorkeeper a chance to summon the Door Hunter upon revival, it ensures that the Door Hunter is no longer just a beautiful legend. Additionally, you can utilize NetherRealm talents to manipulate Overrealm disturbances, block specific unwanted ones, and simultaneously increase the probability of other Overrealm disturbances appearing. Next up, Ethereal Prisms. After watching how players have been using them, the testing phase is officially over. Ethereal Prisms are graduating from experimental and becoming a permanent system. We're not just keeping them though, we're refining them. First, we've overhauled the crafting rules. Prisms no longer have a fixed influence shape. Now, the first craft affix allows you to customize the shape and area of influence, letting you slot that prism exactly where you need it. We also heard your feedback about the risks of crafting. We've added a new option to the third affix slot.
The worst crafting mechanic ever introduced into Torchlight looks like it's coming back. Plasticity.
Do not replace original core talent. This is a huge quality of life change that lets you craft aggressively without worrying about accidentally overwriting the key talent that defines your build. For players who want consistency over risk, we're adding the Ethereal Prism Phantasmagoria. This version never modifies core talents and instead purely enhances crafted affix effects, making it the most reliable way to scale passive power. We've also expanded the core talent pool to open up some wild new build possibilities. For the summoners out there, look at Commander's Gambit. This grants your minions unprecedented power.
So your minions gain your blessings instead, at twice the amount.
Now, when you receive a blessing, your minions get it too, simultaneously. And the best part, their limit is double yours. For evasion-based players, we've reworked Adaptive Defense. It now provides injury buffer and deflection. This gives evasion builds a much-needed backbone, significantly reducing the risk of getting one-shot by a stray projectile. We've added brand new talents to the mix too. Fury Fantasy converts excess ailment chance over the cap into additional ailment damage. Synergizing directly with the new ailment system. And for the melee lovers, Storm's Command scales melee damage based on the number of unique Warcry effects active, rewarding aggressive, high-volume setups. Finally, let's take a look at the Inverse Images. Inverse Images now roll with 1, 2, 3 temper affixes, Only temporary affixes have variable ranges, while all other stats are fixed, making perfect rolls rare and extremely valuable.
Extremely valuable.
To support this, we've added a new recycling and reforging system that lets you break down low quality drops for a chance to reroll and upgrade them. We're also constantly tuning the endgame experience in the Netherrealm to make your
Gamba.
mapping sessions feel smoother and fairer.
There, that looks doable.
For the Vorax season, we've taken a hard look at resonance affixes that felt too punishing. We know there are certain map mods that can just brick a run or unfairly one-shot you, so we've dialed back on the difficulty. For example, the affix that grants enemies additional damage against players at low life or low mana. Previously, this ramped up enemy damage by a massive 58%, which was often a death sentence.
You know, it's a death sentence. Rot. Ignite. Wilt. That if you don't have immunity, kill you instantly.
We have slashed that value down to 30%. This is a major improvement for players running low life and low mana builds, lowering the survival threshold in high pressure encounters and giving players more room to react and outplay the content. Now, let's address a major endgame pain point, the damage cap. We know the frustration. We want every ultimate drop to feel like a win. In the Vorax season, ultimate memories are receiving a major buff across the board, and will now be guaranteed to roll at least one tier 1 fixed affix.
That's cool.
Raising the baseline and ensuring a high tier foundation from the start. If a drop still doesn't have great rolls, it won't be a complete dud because recycling
20.
returns have been increased tenfold. Scrapping an ultimate memory now yields 20 memory threads instead of 2, giving even unwanted drops real economic value.
So, I guess the minimum value of a ultimate is going to be 40 flame elementium, which is pretty nice.
We've also streamlined the affix pool to make crafting smoother. Base affixes have been optimized to reduce clutter. For example, minion attack speed and minion cast speed
Attack and cast instead of attack or cast. It's pretty nice.
have been merged into a single affix, removing death stats, making it easier for summoners to find premium gear and increase versatility for everyone else. And talking about loot, we've made major improvements to fluorescent memories. Drop tables have been reweighed so that high value memories appear far more often.
Fluorescent memories have been adjusted so Kong is worth more.
Expect to drop more valuable memories this season. We're also expanding target farming options for some of the rarest items in the game. 2 new memories, Exiled Destiny and Calamity's Devotion, can now be collected and exchanged for powerful rewards. Undetermined Fate, and randomized priceless rings with cursed affixes. These changes
What's dazzled?
give you more control over your grind and more ways to chase build-defining gear. Now, speaking of priceless rings, we know the emotional roller coaster. You hear the drop, you get really excited, and then you look at it and it's the wrong base. In Vorax, we're fixing that. The God of Machines talent constellation has been updated with a new ring type filter talent. If your
What? No longer contains spirit rings? What other ring would you need for Boom Moto? Ugh, doesn't make any sense.
build does not use certain ring types, you can disable them entirely, allowing you to target farm the exact base you need. We've also added a nearby talent that increases the base drop rate of priceless gear. Together, these changes solidify the God of Machines as a top tier option for high-end gear farming. Now, this approach is not limited to a single system. Similar improvements have been applied across many classic game modes. Let's jump over to God of Might. We've completely reworked the Ember drop system here. The talent constellation now lets you target farm specific Ember types based on your stage of progression. Early in the season, you can spec into nodes that prioritize precious and matchless embers, speeding up early crafting and getting builds online faster. Once your build can handle the heat, you can respec to increase difficulty and focus on ultimate embers, with a significantly higher drop rate than before.
Okay, where's the precious ones though? Both of those ones were ultimate.
If you're chasing the best crafting materials in the game, God of Might is now the go-to destination. Now let's talk about the Destiny system. We heard the feedback. Since launch, popular Kismets have stayed extremely expensive, often locking build-defining options behind prices that most players can reasonably reach. To address the supply issue, Vorax introduces a new direct compass drop source. Completing tarot trials in the Netherrealm now has a chance to drop Arcana compasses directly. More compasses in circulation means more Kismet farming and an increased supply overall. The goal is to bring trade house prices down and to make finishing your build far more achievable without requiring excessive currency. But we didn't stop at just a big season.
What? You can drop more compasses. Yay? How about Kismets are twice the drop rate? I don't think... whatever.
Mechanics. We note that general, utility compasses often see wild price spikes or variations in the trade house, causing some serious supply and demand issues. To smooth this out, we've added a new series of drop-oriented talents specifically for these compasses within the Compass talent constellation. By speccing into these nodes, you can ensure a steady supply of these essentials. This should keep the market stable and ensure you always have the juice you need to run your maps efficiently. We've also optimized the compass recycling system. Recycling a compass now grants tokens of varying rarities, which can be exchanged for new compasses.
That's pretty cool, because previously you'd mince everything and just get a bunch of worthless ones. So I guess now every legendary is worth a bit more. More types of gamba.
This same system has been applied to the Frozen Canvas. We've seen a large market imbalance, where meta support skills are extremely expensive, while the off-meta ones are, practically worthless. It feels really bad to drop a high-tier item that has no value, simply because it isn't popular at the time. To address this, we're introducing an exclusive support skill recycle system. Unwanted support skills can now be scrapped into concepts, with higher tier skills yielding more concepts. These can then be exchanged at the trader for a random exclusive support skill.
More gamba.
Giving players another chance at a high value drop. Let's talk about your league start. We reviewed early game looting, especially from the God's chest from the Profound Talent constellation, and found rewards weren't living up to the expectations. In Vorax, these chests now drop significantly better loot, making it feel more worthwhile. But the bigger change is survivability. We know early game builds can be a little squishy. In the past, if you died, you lost your accumulated stacks. It was really punishing. Now, in the Vorax season, dying no longer clears your accumulated stacks. You keep your progress, making the early game smoother, more forgiving, and far more convenient. We're also continuing to refresh classic mechanics with new twists in Vorax. The cube gets a new fortuitous cube compass, slotting it as mini cubes to your maps. Interacting with them triggers instant encounters that can drop desired crystals, spawn elite packs, or reveal the new special boss, the Cube Goblin, with rewards worth chasing. Dark Surge is also getting a meaningful update. New talents in the Dark Surge constellation allow rare monsters from other mechanics to grant Dark Surge energy. This lets you layer Dark Surge alongside other systems, adding more flexibility.
Netherrealm stages, Dark Surge erupts up to 9 times.
When building your ideal looting strategy. Next up, Sandlord. We heard the feedback. Random raid events were triggering too frequently, breaking the flow of NetherRealm runs, and
And they dropped one item.
the rewards often didn't really, justify the interruption. This season, the frequency of the raid events has been significantly reduced, while the rewards for each event have been greatly increased. You'll encounter them less often.
Wow. That's a lot more than getting one probe.
But when they do appear, the payoff will be worth stopping for.
I don't know why they don't use a loot filter and hide the flame sand.
For endgame players pushing deep space, we're turning the difficulty up. A new NetherRealm resonance, the Deep Space Resonance, is now available. You can toggle it on before entering a stage. This mode converts all modifiers into 9 high difficulty red mods. It's brutal, but the payoff matches the risk. Clear the stage and you'll earn a massive drop quantity bonus, making it one of the most rewarding farming options available. To support this playstyle, we've also updated the NetherRealm talent constellation. You can now invest directly into nodes that enable targeted, deep space resonance farming, keeping a steady supply of fuel as you push your build to its limits. To add more depth to deep space, we're introducing 4 new probes: Mechanical, Titan, Dull, and Bounty. Using these in deep space maps gives you a chance to spawn powerful enemies. Defeating these enemies doesn't just reward loot, it can unlock additional gameplay. For example, killing a Might Goblin can open a new God of Might trial directly inside your current map, effectively creating a map within a map. These probes drop exclusively from the Cage of Original Sin, giving
Of course they do.
pinnacle content another valuable reward to chase. That just about wraps up the system updates. With Overrealm and Ethereal Prisms going core, major loot and endgame improvements, expanded classic mechanics, deeper deep space gameplay, and new recycling and exchange options, this season offers more and more ways than ever to earn rewards and build power. But behind all the flashy updates, there's that critical infrastructure that keeps everything running. For Vorax, we've upgraded many core systems to remove friction from your grind. First, UI. Remember those concept designs we showed you during TorchCon? They're finally here. This is the first phase of our UI overhaul. We've given a fresh coat of paint to the systems you use every single day. The main interface.
That looks sick. It's been changed though. It was Glacial, Lava, Steel Forge, Thunder Wastes, Voidlands. So Voidlands is up there now. Steel Forge, instead of being there, is down here. And Thunder Wastes is down there instead of up there.
The trade house, the inventory, the NetherRealm, and the skill system.
Looks cool.
Everything looks cleaner, sharper,
That character model looks awesome.
and more modern. We've even refined every gear icon, so when a legendary drops, it actually looks legendary. Now we know UI changes can disrupt muscle memory, so layouts and interactions remain exactly where you expect them. They may look a little bit different, but nothing should feel unfamiliar. And it's not just the UI getting a glow up. We've revamped the default models for Carino, Gemma, and Rayhan. These legends are the heart of Torchlight, and they deserve to look the part. And it's not just the heroes. And it's not just the UI getting a glow up. We've revamped the default models for Carino, Gemma, and Rayhan.
He looks fucking cool. It looks beefy.
These legends are the heart of Torchlight, and they deserve to look the part. And it's not just the heroes. We've redesigned a massive number of monster models and overhauled combat effects. We want the visual feedback to be spectacular. When you cast a spell or land a crit, we want you to feel the impact. The battlefield is going to look more chaotic, more beautiful, and more visceral than ever before. If you're playing on PC, there's a new setting you should definitely check out. Global lighting. Turn this on, and the game feels totally different. Skill effects, pack spirits, and even loot beams dynamically light the environment in real time, giving combat a completely different feel. Now, what you're seeing this season is just the very first step of our graphics overhaul, which will likely need several seasons to be fully implemented. We decided instead of holding back for one single massive update, we would rather deliver improvements incrementally season by season. So, after launch, we're going to be listening very closely to your feedback. This right now is just a foundation, and we're going to keep building upon it until we deliver the best visual experience possible. Now, on the technical side, we've also been hard at work optimizing core gameplay systems, starting with collision.
Good.
We've read your feedback and we know how frustrating it feels when the engine works against you. Camera jitter and character shaking near map edges have largely been resolved. We also fixed the sluggishness you might have noticed when using mobility skills close to walls. No more invisible geometry. Just fluid movement, so you can focus on fighting monsters, not the terrain. Now, we're not just refining physics and the game engine, we're refining the soul of the game. Heroes should feel like true companions, so we significantly expanded voice lines and added new dynamic triggers. Leading the charge is Cat-Eye Erika and her new Vendetta Sting trait. Between maps, she may share stories like the Bloody Odyssey Night, revealing how this legendary assassin made the nobles of the Midlands tremble.
We're not fighting some villain. We are fighting an empire.
But it's not just lore. The game now reacts to your actions. Complete key achievements and she'll respawn, sometimes with a rare smile, sometimes sharing your frustration, adding a new layer of personality to your journey.
Wow, this is worth more than Arminius's head. We wait in the shadows for the dawn.
For mouse and keyboard players, especially on ranged builds, we know the wrist strain is real. To help, we've implemented a new auto-aim feature. Enable it in settings to reduce physical strain during long farming sessions. The Pro Build interface now clearly highlights any skills or supports you don't own, making it easier to understand why your build is missing. And that covers our major quality of life optimizations this season. We want TLI to feel better to play every day. We'll keep listening to your feedback and fixing the small stuff. Because at the end of the day, we really just want this to be the smoothest and most fun ARPG experience you can play. Next up, our new events. To sell.
Oh, that reminds me. I keep forgetting to log in. I don't think I've got enough days left. There's the New Year's Eve event where 7 days gets you a bunch of Battle Spirit tokens.
Celebrate the new year, and as a thank you for your support, we've prepared a massive amount of events with respective rewards. The Dancing Dragon Festival includes a series of events, ranging from check-in to objective-based events.
That's pretty cool art.
The rewards here are stacked. A legendary Battle Pack Spirit selection pack.
Motionless. Again.
10 Battle Pack Spirit draws. The activation medium Motionless. A massive stack of tax vouchers for the trade house. And some truly exquisite back accessories. Oh, and don't forget, the first top-up double bonus has been reset. For every tier, your first top-up grants double PRIMOs. The Vorax season also offers a separate series of objective-based events for you to complete. Complete these missions to claim a total of 30 legendary Battle Pack Spirit draws. On top of these, you're also looking at rare season drop pack spirits, rare pack spirit upgrade emblems, exclusive weapon appearances, and more. For players looking to prove their mastery of the Netherrealm, special trophy awaits. Defeat Plane Watchers on Plane 6 within Profound Time Arc 8 to earn Conquest Insignias. Collect enough insignias to exchange for General Rescale's signature weapon, conquering this season's toughest challenges. Oh, and speaking of conquering challenges, let's talk about the hardcore server. If you prefer the stress of having only one life, mark your calendars for February 12th. This 4-week period gives you enough time to learn the mechanics on the main server before you risk it all. At launch, we're going to be hosting an exclusive leaderboard event. Reach the top to earn the hardcore server exclusive Honor Portrait, the ultimate badge of survival. Next up, Pack Spirits. Intern Shelly, she's your drop pack spirit. She lets you refresh surgical instruments to feature high tier mods, and gives you a chance to double your Antidote Vial rewards. Kitty Express, perfect companion for Vendetta's Sting. She grants massive attack damage and the attack aggression effects. Finally, let's take a look at all the new cosmetics, including this season's new Genderbender skin. Erika is getting the Glitchwalker skin, a full cybernetic overhaul. It comes with a hero outfit, a weapon skin, custom body effect, and a stunning new visual for her Vendetta's Sting trait.
Yuga.
Next up, Yoga gets a legendary transformation skin, the Stygian Bride. Drawing from the legend of Narcissus, she is captivated by her own reflection, summoning duplicates to fight alongside her, formation appearance, a new Chain Lightning skin, and an exclusive portrait. We also have a new back accessory called Harmonic Rotation. This isn't just a static prop. As you kill enemies, it actually reacts, collecting light and switching between the solar and lunar forms. And finally, why should your hero be the only one who gets a new look? We're releasing a new cosmetic for the God of Might called Mountain Cleaving Force. When you equip this, the entire appearance of the trial changes.
That's pretty cool.
Mechanic in a whole new light. From the all-new Vorax Mechanic, Erika's new trait, to Grafting, a mountain of quality of life updates, and our brand new UI. This season is gonna be absolutely packed. Now Vorax is right around the corner, coming January 15, and the team really pulled out all the stops for this one. We hope you'll enjoy it, and we can't wait to see you all on launch day. That's all for today, and we'll catch you all on the next one.
SS11TL0116 is the code. So that was a pretty good video. It was a pretty long one. There's a lot to look forward to. I think the Tangle will work well with Yuga too. Chain Lightning Tangles and stuff sound pretty cool. I'll still be starting as Boom Moto. I didn't see any specific things there, but in the patch notes there is a few nice buffs, which I'll cover in another video. But yeah, that's all I've got for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Cheers.